Welcome wherever you happen to be, whether you're watching the recording, whether you're here live in Zoom, or whether you're watching this on YouTube. You're very, very welcome. If you could add in the chat box where you're coming from. I see we've got Europe, we've got South America, and let's see if we've got any other areas. So this is our second meeting, and really, really exciting one since we've gone through the introduction last week, and now we're going Finland. Nice. And now we're going to start doing some real work as far as collaboration goes. You just had a bit. If you've taken AI tools for student collaboration before without the AI, this is completely different. I have revamped the course, and that's what usually happens with these courses because technology changes, but we're still working on debates. So feel free to use the chat. You can also unmute yourself at some point. I think I've allowed you to do that so you can ask questions. So as I said, we've got Europe, South America. So welcome. A little bit about me. You can read this later on. This presentation is available in week 2 of the course. And if someone could add the link to the course for those who may not be enrolled in the course, you're welcome to join us. It's supposed to be a collaborative course, but since collaboration is time dependent, it might be difficult, but you still have a chance to collaborate if you wish. If not, you can work individually. You actually have a choice, and I'll be talking about that. So you can see a little bit about what I do, and from an English language teacher, which I don't really teach English as such as a foreign language or second language anymore. I'm involved more in technology than in anything else, and teacher training, of course, that's related to language teaching. But I teach virtual reality and augmented and mixed realities at a distance at a university in Greece. I teach mostly educators, but also computer science students. So what we're going to do or you're going to do in week 2 is organize the debates for student collaboration. This is actually an image that I created, or that was generated with my assistance. But notice here, this was with ChatGPT. This looks like my classroom. This is exactly the way my classroom looks. And this is what happens in the classroom with the debates. There are 2 sides. There's a chair in the middle. Generally, what I do is I also have the students prepare a short video, and they also prepare plays where they actually act out different things, since it's a language classroom. And by the way, some of these videos are actually in my YouTube channel. So AI tools that you'll be using to create your debates or during your debates. First of all, there's Develop Online Courses, which is what I developed. It's a GPT on ChatGPT. Everything that I'm showing you is completely free. So there shouldn't be any problems. The only problems that you may encounter if you're in certain countries, such as mainland China, in some parts of the Far East, perhaps as well, in Iran maybe, and Cuba, you may be having issues. If you're having any kind of issues, please do not resort to a VPN or think that you have to pay anything. Just let me know and I'll find an alternative. There are always alternatives, so keep that in mind. All these tools can be also used on your smartphone, which is important for our students. Now, what can you do on Develop Online Courses? GPT, you can have a conversation. It's actually a GPT, which is part of ChatGPT. and you get support for whatever you're asking for, whether it's text in this case, and we'll go through what you can have, but you can have a conversation on your phone by voice or by text. And this is what it looks like. Develop online courses. You can create new courses, but for our case, you're going to create a lesson plan and you're going to get help from Develop Online Courses. But if you can't use this, there are other options, as I said, or you can choose. SciSpace is for research information to make sure that you're getting accurate information for your debates for both the pro and the con. Since you'll be creating both, and we discussed this last week, both the pros and cons, students need to know about the two sides. They're in one team, a team of 4 or more, but they work on both sides of the coin so that they're not just one-sided in their thinking, but they're working together on both pros and cons, for and against. Notice with SciSpace, they can chat, and you'll be able to test this since you'll first be using it yourselves, and then you'll be able to do this in the classroom. It's quite easy. You don't have to use difficult words if you're using it with non-native speakers. You can speak and chat with the PDFs by voice, and you can also hear everything. So there's a conversation with the PDF files. You can also conduct literature review. It's available as well, and has citations. It's important for students to also be able to cite at various levels. You know, we'd be surprised how, for example, young learners, high school students and junior high students, ages 12 to 15, are also able to use and understand citations. So it's not only for university students. The more we challenge them with, the more they learn. And then there's also paraphrasing. It's able to paraphrase to the level that you need for your students. And it also has an AI somewhat detector. This is what it looks like. Notice chat with PDF at the top right. I have a few videos on this and you might find them interesting. And then there's a library where all your work is kept. There's deep review, which is fairly new. They're going to have a search engine like Google search engine for research search engine like Google Scholar. And I think you're going to like that. It's coming out very soon. And notice I researched debates in the classroom, a comprehensive review. It got 20 papers because I was asking for recent papers. 24, 25 is what I usually ask for. And then you've got benefits, a table of contents. It set it up for me. Benefits of classroom debates, effectiveness of debates in different educational challenges and limitations. So all the pros and cons are here. And I used it and it works brilliantly. And then there's the third tool that you'll be using, and that's for writing. It's called Paragraph AI. It's Canadian based, but it's for everyone, of course. It does grammar for corrections, email reply. There are different replies. So it's either writing or replies, content creation, real-time editing, multilingual support. So the different languages, it can detect your language and then translate accordingly. There are also various templates. This is what it looks like. So notice on the left, you've got write. What do you want to write? That's one option. The other option at the top right is reply. So if you're looking for a reply, it will reply to whatever you add to the text. Notice that's what I added. I asked to put the information into paragraphs and not to comment on it. So if I choose reply, it'll comment on it. If I choose write, it will do whatever I ask. Notice the language detect in the middle. Okay, right here where you can detect the language. Maybe I should get let's see, a drawing tool here. Okay, so we've got the detect here, the write as opposed to the reply. So whatever you add to the middle, for example, here, this is your input. Make sure that if you want to change the writing or get the writing that you want, you go to write. If you want reply, you go to reply. So you have to decide what you want. And then, of course, there's output library, and you can customize your output. Now, what does it mean to customize output? It means that you may want to do something special, like find all the words that start with S. So you might want, or count the number of words or characters. So characters it counts for you, but not words. So you might want to create a customized output where you will ask when you write, you'll click on it, and then it will do whatever you want it to do, like find all the words that begin with S, which is probably not something you're going to do. Are there any questions up to here? Okay, I'm going to stop every once in a while since you're here. And by the way, you will get a certificate of attendance. Feel free to ask either by text or by voice. You can unmute yourselves. Let me get rid of everything that's here. Okay, let me look at the chat. Don't see any questions. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Yes, the presentation, Felix, is available in the course, but I'll try to get it for you if you're not in the course. But if you'd like to join the course, if someone could add the link to the course, then you can get all this information. It's all there. The course is in a Moodle platform. So thank you for asking. Feel free to, as I said, use a chat to ask. Right, so what steps are you going to take to prepare your debate? Well, here are 7 steps with the AI tools. The first step is to define the debate topic. Now, I don't know what age groups you are going to do this with, so if you could add that in the chat so I can relate to whoever is here right now. What age groups do you plan to do these activities? Because you're going to start the activities in week 2. Week 1, you're just experimenting and looking at some of the tools, the AI tools. Week 2, you'll actually be creating them. So we've got 70, 80 plus. So why not 70 plus? Okay, 80 sounds better. Yeah. And you know something, there may be some interesting research talking about ages. I think this affects everyone because hopefully we will all age and reach a ripe old age. Apparently, there is some research and documentation on the fact that with age, you can physically improve your athletic skills. There's this one teacher, a retired teacher who's 71, I believe, years old, who is getting faster and faster. He's the world fastest man for his age group. He did 100 meters in 13 seconds. 13 seconds, that seems incredible. So there are research findings that you can improve not only your mental health, of course, your brain functions, but you can also improve your physical athletic abilities. So we may be getting younger physically, not just mentally. So 80 plus, we'll see what happens with the 80 plus. Yes, it's very unique and things are changing. So, and we've got high school. Okay, and teachers, adults, 16 to 19-year-olds. That's also high school, 25. That's probably university. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you. So Felix, you have it there. You can just click on it and join. I will confirm. You don't have to add too much information. I'll remember you. So you simply just add your name. Your name will be there, and I'll just approve you because everyone needs to be approved. All right. So if there aren't any questions, if I don't answer your question, please speak up and ask it by voice. Right. So step one, as I said, is deciding on a topic and the pros and cons. Remember, you're going to do both. So we need tools for this, and AI tools will come to the rescue because we need assistance. You know, we're so busy, all of us, whether we're students or teachers, we're busy, and we want to do a good job with our students. But these things take time. So with AI, we're getting everything at our fingertips. So the exact wording. Okay, we may have some ideas of what we want, but we want the wording for this. So we can ask develop online courses GPT to add that, or paragraph AI. And of course, SciSpace is to get definitions and context from scientific literature or from academic literature. And we want to look at which side are we advocating. We want to make sure that we're not saying the same thing on one side. So we need to either be pro or con, not to include the con and the pro and vice versa. So we need to define things, and AI tools will help with that. And then research the pros and cons. What are some ideas for this? Now you can think of ideas yourself, or you can get help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. It doesn't mean that you're not thinking. You may add to ideas. You may find that there are ideas you didn't think of. So having an assistant, think along with you is just an asset. It doesn't do any harm. So what are the main arguments supporting your position? What evidence backs these arguments? You need to have evidence. And what are the common counter arguments? And then you can get it from these tools. Develop online courses generates balanced arguments and counter arguments. They're always giving you both sides. You can ask for it to be in a table format or one at a time instead of having it there in one go. And then SciSpace for locating the relevant research papers, and paragraph AI will assist with locating the relevant writing. You might ask, what do I need? What kind of tone should I have? What format? And paragraph AI will help you with that. It'll also help you structure the arguments for the debate. How should we structure our arguments for clarity? Now, we could be very clear, but if we can get help, we will learn from this. And when I say we, I mean our students will also learn from this. They'll be reading it, hopefully, not just copying and pasting, but we can ensure that they do read it and understand the points, and that they're able to understand. And it also, paragraph AI creates structured outlines and drafts, and you can ask it to fix it and refix it again and again. Step 4 is to anticipate. This is really important. This is where the critical thinking comes in, where students, in this case you, need to think of what the other side will say. But since you're working on both sides, you're going to be even smarter because you've got everything there. And then generate the rebuttals. And then what points might the opposing team raise? How can we effectively counter these points? So these are ways that we think ahead. What will the other side say? What will they think? Okay, and then you've got the 3 AI tools: develop online courses, GPT, SciSpace, and paragraph AI. They will all assist you and your students, because eventually your students will be doing this. And then instructions for debate, step 5, practice and improve speech. Now, this is very important, not only for language learners to practice speech delivery, But for everyone needs it, whether you're a math teacher or your students are learning math, or if they're learning a language, or whether they're learning history, geography, social sciences, anything. It doesn't really matter. These days, everyone wants to learn how to present the information. And one way of doing this, of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, is by video. My students create together. They get together and they create scenes and they act them out. They really like that part. And they're very creative. You'd be amazed how creative, and I'm specifically thinking of my young learners, 12 to 15, what they come up with. Amazing work. And then is the delivery clear and engaging? They can record themselves, listen to themselves, and decide together on their team whether it's clear, the delivery is clear. And then how effective are they conveying the arguments? And they can practice, and everyone likes to act out. And this is a chance to actually act because you're taking different roles. And Paragraph AI will help refine the speech. And they can memorize or not memorize, just have it in points. That's fine. Step 6, there's 7 steps, is to conduct a mock debate. They can do this and record themselves, as I said, and then you can show it in the classroom. They can show, the different things they came up with. It's a lot of fun. And then how well are we presenting our arguments? They can work in teams. You can have a jigsaw puzzle in the classroom where they go into different teams and give each other feedback in small teams. And they can use these tools. You'll be using these tools and then decide what you're going to do with your students. Then step 7 is the final review, and then ethical considerations for students to think. Okay, you got all this information. Are the sources credible? Did you check? Is the content original? Did you use your words, or did you use, Paragraph AI's words? How much of it was yours, ideas-wise? You can have them go through that. And how has AI influenced your preparation? Something to discuss in the classroom. What are the ethical issues involved in this kind of work using AI assistance? Any questions up to here? I see one comment there. No questions. Yeah, I think I think it's 259. Felix, if you try the link, let us know if it's not correct. No questions? All right, we're going to continue. And this is your prize for taking the course. It's a Canva Pro for educators. I will not be sharing it here, but you will find it in the course under week 2. How many of you have gone into week 2 in the Moodle course? Let me know in the chat. Yes, no, maybe. Have you gone into the course, taken a look at it? It's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes. Okay. Okay, just let me know so I get an idea. All right, in the course, you will find Canva Pro for educators. It's a chance for us to collaborate. Right now, you're a student. All right, so free Canva AI generators. Canva used to be only about images, but things are changing because the competition is huge. So it decided to include an AI image generator. It wasn't very good in the past 2 years. In fact, it was terrible. And all these images were created using AI, Canva AI image generator. So right now, it's a lot better. As you can see, these are quite good. It now has a voice generator. These are all clickable, so you'll find the presentation. If you can put the presentation in the chat, someone, that would be great. Maybe Felix, you can find it in week 2. at the beginning of week 2 and just click on the right of the mouse and bring it over, copy it and paste it into the chat box here in Zoom. And video generator, and they're amazing. So you'll have a chance to try these out. They're free, but of course with a pro, you get a lot more. If you already have a Canva account, don't worry. You can have another one with a pro so that you keep the free. That's always a good policy. So having 2 Canva, 1 free and 1 pro is a good idea. You could always move the content from one to the other. Next are images and copyrights. Now, this image was created using Cosmic Dream, ChatGPT, completely free. I thought it would be very colorful, but ChatGPT and all the, it's getting better, but the text, the font is not very good. It's not able to do that very well. So I usually use ideogram for my images. But do we need, in your opinion, you can add in the chat, do we need to add citations for the images we use publicly, such as here in this Zoom meeting? What do you think? Yes, you're right, Melinda. It is difficult to navigate on Canva. I think their user, I mean, I don't think they even consider how users feel. It's something that has always been the case, which is why when I share anything on Canva, such as what I just shared now, I share the specific links, as you can see here. Because if you go into Canva, you will not find these. So good luck looking for them. So you actually need to go into the specific links to get these. And I think that's a shame. And not just that, I've created a lot of videos for my students because they couldn't figure out how to use the screen recorder on Canva. But right now, the screen recorder on Canva is unlimited until they realize their mistake. You can have screen recording for 2 hours. That's fine. But yeah, their site is not very user-friendly. The navigation is terrible. So my question was, do we need to teach our students and do we need to model this to cite the images that we get from an AI tool? In this case, it was Cosmic Dream. What do you think? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I think so too. All right. But I'll tell you why it might be ridiculous. The reason it might be ridiculous, or the reason we might not do it, is because these are actually very unique. The only thing is that if you copy mine, can you copy mine? Can you take this as yours? Does it belong to me? Did I create this? Do I have ownership over this? Of course, the answer is no. And if ChatGPT, for example, can only create one of these, it can't create 2 of the same. It's very, very unique. Who does it belong to? I asked for it. Does it belong to me? Okay, these are problematic questions when it comes to citations, but I think we should cite so that people know that I didn't create that. It's not, well, maybe it's mine, but I didn't create it. Maybe I bought it, but I didn't create it. So when we consider images, we need to think about fair use. And if you're not familiar with these, you might want to go into online courses for free, GPT, and ask what is fair use doctrine? And you'll get information. And an example of this is using a small portion of a copyrighted painting in a classroom presentation for a critique or a discussion. Okay, you're just analyzing it. So it's limited use of copyrighted material without permission for specific purposes. You're not publishing it. You're just talking about it. And educational exceptions. Some countries offer exceptions for educational use. Now, this is problematic because if you're in the United States, there are copyright laws for images specifically. In the United States and Canada, they're not exactly the same. The UK is also different. So depending on, say you found an image on the internet under Google, and you're allowed to use it because it says modifications are allowed. So you can do anything with it. And you do. And then you get an email and you put it up there and everyone can see it with your name. You put it on your website. And the company contacts you and says, you owe us a few $1,000s because you violated our copyrights and you modified it without our permission. You weren't even allowed to use it. And then you say, oh my gosh, what do I do? I need a lawyer. What will I do? Is this hoax? Is this true? I don't live in the United States. Should I worry? And these are things that educators are concerned about. I hope you never receive such an email. But yes, it could be scary. And it could be a hoax. There are such things. So be careful. And then there's Creative Commons. But sometimes on Google, it says Creative Commons, or you go to Wikipedia and it says Creative Commons. But in the little letters, it's really not. It's Creative Commons, but you're not allowed to use it publicly, to put it on your website without giving due credit. So sometimes you don't need permission, but you still have to give it credit. You have to attribute it to whoever created it, even if it's non-commercial. So what I say is use AI. Don't use anything that's on the internet. Create your own. Write the citation, whether it's ChatGPT or Ideogram or whatever you're using, and don't worry about it. Or take your own photos. Do not take things, copy and paste from the internet. And public domain can be used freely, but again, be careful. Institutional policies. Some academic institutions may have specific policies when it comes to copyrighted material, and this could be not just images, but also images. Some universities allow the use of certain copyrighted images and some don't. And some do for educational purposes, and there's permission and licensing. Sometimes you have to pay a fee to use a copyrighted photograph, and if you don't want to pay, don't use it. But if you use it, make sure that you pay. And of course, what I go for is attribution and citations. Proper attribution and citations are required when using images, no matter what, even under fair use or educational exceptions. So you need to cite the source. And if the source is an AI tool, cite the source. It's not yours. You didn't create it. Okay, so we don't want to pretend that we did. And they're digital rights management, DRM, and they can limit how digital images are used or shared. But this is only in the United States and not in other countries. So, but maybe, who knows, they might find out and get a lawyer in your country and sue you that way. So be careful. In some cases, you need legal experts, as I mentioned, even though you don't live in that country, but they may contact you through a lawyer in your country and you don't want to be there. But there are royal-free images. I'm afraid of royal-free because I don't think it's that safe, but maybe it is. I don't think that I would use it on a website or a blog. Any comments or questions about copyrights and images? I always teach my students about this. I think it's important for life, not just for the debates. Now we're going to go to the next activity, and that is AI tools for lesson plans. After you have your debate topic, you're going to introduce it to your students. So you need a lesson plan. And these are some AI assistant tools. I don't know if you've heard of any of these. Let me know in the chat. You've heard of Canva because I mentioned it before, but have you heard of Coursebox, Chalky, Gemini, Easy Peasy, develop online courses I mentioned, Eduaid, Logic Balls, Tascade, Teach Genius, Magic School. All these are tools that can assist you with lesson planning. Let me know in the chat which ones have you used, are you familiar with? Oh, that's wonderful, Melinda. Maybe you can, well, I don't know if you can share it with us, if it's going to be a public one or a private one. So which ones? All of these are great for lesson plans. You can try them all. Magic School is full of information. So I think the link that I added here, let me check, is only for syllabus generator. It's not for lesson plan, okay? But you will find the lesson plan if you search for it. The nice Canva also has, would you believe it, a lesson plan. But if you look for it, you won't find it. See, I didn't put the right link. I see here. I'll fix it and put the correct link because Canva is not, I think it's, I put it elsewhere. I'll fix that. Right. So notice here, these are 9 AI tools. I think there are 11 actually to generate lesson plans. We've got Canva. I think this is the right one. Yes. Okay, this is the link. I have to fix it, but this is the correct link. With Canva, Melinda, you mentioned that it's a mess. You need to find that link, and you can find it by going into their search engine. That's how you get it, or you get it from Google search, from Chrome search engine or Google search engine. Okay, so Canva can also create lesson plans. Coursebox is mostly for syllabi, but that's something that you might be interested in, so I left that. Tascade also has syllabus as well as a lesson plan. And this is the one for Canva. This is what it looks like. Let me see if I jumped over here. Yeah, this is the Canva one. This is what it looks like. Notice you can have different sizes for the presentations or videos. You can create a lesson plan, but again, you need to search for it in their search engine. With Coursebox, as I said, it's about courses, not about lesson plans. This is Tascade. Here you can generate a lesson plan. I like Tascade, but it also has a lot of information. If you see an AI tool that has lots of information, go to the search engine. They always have a search box. Go to the search box or search engine in some cases, and simply write what you want, lesson plan, and you'll get it right away. So you don't have to be overwhelmed by all the information. For example, on Magic School, there's a lot of information. It's very, very confusing. And this is developed online courses, and Easy Peasy is really nice. This is Easy Peasy. Notice it's catered to teachers. Lesson plan generator example is your subject, grade level, could be adults. I want my students to learn. We're talking about debates and write the pros and cons, a little bit about your debate, standards, and any other information that you want to add. And this is the one I created to develop an AI lesson plan with GPT. We've developed online courses. And notice here, it's not here, but it is available on the lesson plans. What's nice here is that you can also speak, okay, and use your voice instead of just texting. These are the other tool, Gemini. Anyone using Gemini? It gets better and better, but Brisk, yeah, Brisk is nice too. I don't like it. I don't remember why I don't like it. Maybe because it's not international enough. And then there's Logic Balls, Chalky, and Eduaid. This is Gemini. Last year, we used it in this course. We only used Gemini. What's nice about Gemini is that if you ask for a lesson plan or anything for that matter, but we're talking about lesson plans. If you ask for a lesson plan for a debate topic, this is what I did. I asked for a lesson plan for a debate topic with pros and cons on TikTok. And then I created a video using Veed with the information that I got from Gemini. But what Gemini does, it shares the information on a Google Doc. So you have it right there in your Google Doc. And that's, I think, a very useful feature. This is Logic Balls. I said there's a lot of information here. It kind of reminds me of Magic School. When there's too much information, it's too much. So there's a lot here. Notice they have generators for the UK, for the United States, for Canada, for many countries, and under various topics. So it could be, notice here, education assistant, teacher tools, housing and property. So it's not just about K-12 or university subjects. It's other areas, which is kind of nice. But I think that might be nice for students if they want to create a lesson plan on housing and property. That's also something valuable in the UK or US construction. This could be good for adult learner, for 70, 80 plus. They might be interested in these topics. Bookkeeping, UK insurance agents. I don't know anything about UK insurance and how things work there. But it might be interesting to have these for a lesson plan and have a pro and con debate. Chalky for lesson plan. Chalky is quite nice. It's not as complicated. You can see here, you can have a single lesson or multiple lessons on a topic, and then you can choose which one you want. And in addition, you can have worksheets, which is also possible on DeFit. And there's Eduate, which is also kind of full of things, the way Magic School is for lesson planning. Notice it has different styles. They're all different. They're not exactly the same. They're all unique. This one has lesson plan Gagne's 9 events of instruction, Montessori, lesson planner, learning objectives, lesson plan, 5 E's, project-based learning planner. I think these are wonderful, and you can have them, your debate based on, say, project-based learning, evidence statements. So they're nice. Okay, they're nice. You've got topic, document, or website. You can base it on a website as well, which is nice. So Eduate, and I'm looking at the free versions. And then, of course, we'll get to Magic School and Teach Genius, which is one of my favorites because the navigation is a little more user-friendly. I'm looking at the chat to see if there are any questions. Yeah, too many choices, difficult to choose. Yes, that's why it's up to the teacher. That's the teacher's job. But if you need help, go into online courses for free, GPT, and ask, which one do you advise me to use? You can get opinions. Which one? I want to teach 17, 80-year-olds a debate topic. Which one should I choose? Which one would be better? And then there's Magic School. And as I mentioned, we're going to take a look at what it looks like. This is Magic School. I have gone to the search box, search engine for lesson plan. And notice I chose university, the standards, objectives, and then additional criteria. So now you don't see everything around Magic School. So if you focus on one thing, you're good to go. And then there's as I said, Teach Genius, which I really like because everything is on the left. It's all not all over in the middle, which kind of bothers me. I like things on the side that I can close it up. Notice there's a corridor here. You can close it up on the left here. So you don't have to see everything in front of you. Okay, there it is on the left, and you can close that up. Because if you can't close it up, it's kind of annoying. Let me clear everything. Right. So here you choose the lesson topic. Okay, we're talking about a debate, learning objectives, grade, state standards, and select a state. That's optional. You don't even have to add that. And then notice the share, you can copy or you can have a new lesson. I like this because it's very, very clean looking. Right. Any questions about the different lesson plan AI generators that we've done so far? You can unmute yourself. Okay, notice right now we're talking about you. You're going to prepare everything. You're going to try things out, and then you'll create it for your students. So keep that in mind. It's you and then your students. Okay, so what are the tasks for week 2? I want to mention that I made some changes because some of the activities didn't work as they were supposed to with the grading. So I undid the to do. So right now you've got view or do. The view, you need to view. Otherwise, you won't be able to get your badge of the week. So please view, it needs to be viewed. Go under the flap and see if it's view or do. If it's view, you just click on the link. You look at it, whatever is there, and then you'll get the done, as you can see on the right here. The to do could be post one reply, receive a grade, and it's always a passing grade out of 100. There are no in-between grades. If you do it, you do the right thing, you get 100. If you don't do it, you don't get anything. If you do it and you don't do the right thing, you'll have to do it again until you get 100. That's the idea. And then these are the tasks. First of all, you're going through the Google presentation, but you'll need to open it in the course. You'll need to look at it. You might need to refer to it anyways. And then you will discover your group. Yes, there are groups. Those of you who came late didn't have a chance to group yourselves, but those who did have been grouped, and those who didn't were grouped as well. And then you'll be able to contact the members of your group from a messaging system in the group. So you can contact each other, and I think it's a good idea. The courses that I gave in the past, especially during COVID, with collaboration, where the participants collaborated in teams, they felt a lot better about the course and themselves. But right now I know it's problematic, and sometimes there are pros and cons to working in teams online more than face to face. So something to think about. Maybe that's a topic for your debate. And then you'll read and do a quiz on images and copyrights. the answers will appear. So, it's based on looking at something, making mistakes, and then going on. And then you will have joined the Canva free pro education. Everyone's going to join. You don't have to stay there. But for this course, so you get all the pro features for free. And then you will read 2 articles, but this time you're not going to read the same way that you read in week 1. This time you're going to play 2 Kahoot games. So there are 4 articles, and you'll choose 2 and play the 2 Kahoot games, 1 for each article that you've chosen. I think you'll have fun with this. And then you will have chosen a topic, a debate topic from a list provided. There's a list of topics, so you don't have to think too much. And then you can choose one. Or if you've got a topic of your own that you'd like to use, that's fine. And you will create a lesson plan based on your topic using one of the AI tools from the list. Only one tool, that's all you need. And then you'll create a free account on idea boards, which we did in week 1. Oh, I made a mistake in the spelling. It's WEJE, not G. And Kylo and Lucid. Now, I want to mention that Kylo has 2 sites, one for educators and one not for educators. We're going to be using the educator site. And Lucid also has at least 3 or 4 sites, but we're going to use the education one, okay? And it's different. You'll prepare 1 debate topic with 5 for and 5 against points, and you'll add it to one of the tools listed above. You'll either use idea boards, Wedge, Kylo, or Lucid, not all 4, just one. You'll add the link of the pros and cons debate activity to the discussion forum and set it to open in a new window. That's week 2. And this is how you find your teams, your group. You go into participants. Everybody can do that. Under participants, it'll open a menu. In the menu, you will see the following: match. You go into groups after any groups, and then you go into type select, and you select a group. You will see your group under your name, hopefully, but if not, you'll see it when you open the groups. And then from the groups, you can email. You'll see who's in your group. There should be 4. One group has 5. If you just joined now, I'll need to add you to a group, so there'll be another group of 5. And then you can contact the members of the group. You apply filter number 4, and that's how you do it. You don't have to remember that because this presentation is there. Right, so these are some of the tools that I just mentioned. There's idea boards, completely free. Students do not need to create an account. And I think this is very, very important because students don't like to create accounts. I mean, who does? Unless you have no choice. Idea boards, it's a great way to collaborate on pros on a debate topic. And you had a chance to see it. This is what it looks like. As I said, you do not have to, your students don't have to get an account. They can just add the information. And then there's Ouija. Notice here I spelled it correctly. I'll have to fix that. Any questions? I don't see. All right. Ouija, you saw what Ouija looks like. It's completely free, by the way, which is amazing. Look at this, 0 pricing. How many times have you seen a site that has 0 pricing under pricing? I mean, this is absolutely amazing, and it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful tool. It's all over the place. It moves, if you're not familiar with that kind of thing, but you can kind of stabilize it. You can add it. I've made all of you in week 1. I gave you all full editing rights, just like I had. So maybe that was a problem. I shouldn't have given you so many rights. In any case, you'll have a chance to work with it outside of Moodle. So you don't need a Moodle site for this. And as I said, completely free, no strings attached. And I think that's wonderful. Sorry you have to go. That's Ouija. And then there's Kylo. Kylo, as I said, has 2 venues. One is for educators and one is not. I think educators is free. The other ones are for business and they're not. And you can do various things on Kylo. Kylo is really, really nice. And they're very supportive. If you have any questions, they'll be happy to answer your questions. You had a chance to try it out in week 1. Okay. And then this is what Kylo looks like. And notice it's Kylo EDU, which is different from Kylo in general. So I've added the correct links here in this presentation, and on the site it's also there. So here is an explanation. Kylo is also free for thoughtful, inclusive discussion. There's some passionate people out there who want to make a difference in the world, and they're doing things for free for teachers, for educators. And there's an explanation there on why it's free. And then there's Lucid with its diagrams. And Lucid has a lot of sites, and they also stress that there's the education for educators. And this is the one, Lucid for Education. So make sure that you're in Lucid for Education. I think Lucid is wonderful. All right, so we've actually reached the end. These are the references. These are the articles that you'll be reading. I try to find current ones using SciSpace. You saw what I showed you at the beginning. Responsible AI integration education, bringing innovation and responsibility. And then there's exploring college students' depth and processing patterns of critical thinking skills and their perception argument map. And then there's curriculum materials for deliberative teaching, which is teaching by debates, and a global study of debate extension service, challenges and opportunities.